Okay, this kind of story has a very particular set of equations that we can create to solve it. And I will show you those equations at the end. However, I have a feeling that if you're watching this video, it's because you looked at this and really didn't know where to start. You didn't really have a guess for the equations. Maybe you did, but you didn't feel confident in it. And so this is a good example of a question where if you're not amazing at math, you can feel intimidated into quitting. But you shouldn't. Because of the way that this is set up for the SAT, we have to power through that and get this right. We can 100% guess and check here. And so that's the skill that you really need to develop as we review this. Like, yes, you kind of do want to know how to generate the equations, but there will be many more questions that aren't like this where you still should be recognizing that guess and check is the way to go. And that is what we want, is how do you get out of a jam? How do you fix the problem when you're confused and still be able to do the question? So the question is confusing, but the answers are very straightforward, right? They're just simple numbers, and they represent something simple as well. How many salads were sold that day? So guess and check is really about just saying, I don't understand the question, but I understand the answers, and I can work backwards to see if the answer matches with the information that I'm given. So when I guess and check, I almost always start with choice B, okay? So why? Well, B is in the middle, and if I'm wrong, then I can go towards a bigger or a smaller number depending on how wrong I am, right? So I can see the problem and adjust. I could also choose C. The reason I choose B is everyone seems to choose C. I like going a different way. That's it. So this is just me. Oh, I always would have chosen B. I didn't just choose B for this question. I always would choose it. But what does it mean? Well, okay, 93 salads. Okay, well, now I go into the question. I say, well, what do I know about the salads? Well, I know that they're $6.50 each. Okay, well, then I could figure out how much it costs to buy all those salads, right? That's just simple multiplication. Why am I doing that? Well, because I can do that. Let's see what happens. 93 times $6.50 is $604.50 spent on salads. Now, it also says something about drinks, and they're selling for $2 a piece. And so there's a couple ways to go with this. This is the way that I always go. I see that there are 209 salads and drinks together. So I think, okay, well, in total, I need 209 salads and drinks. I've already got 93 salads, so let's do a little subtraction. 209 minus 93 means 116 drinks, right? They add up to 209. Now I say, oh, well, I just saw $2 per drink, so okay, that's going to be $232. And finally, the last piece of information that I haven't used yet is that the total amount of money is $836.50. So let's see, does that add up? 604.50 plus 232 is $836.50. Wow, it's perfect with what I needed it to be. So there, I'm done. I guessed correctly. And again, like I said, I would have chosen B regardless. I didn't just pick it because I knew it was the answer. But it tends to work out nicely, at least 25% of the time. So why is this good? Well, if I was wrong, I could have just done it again with a different number, right? It doesn't take much effort to say, okay, let's try C, right? 99 salads times 650, that's still going to give me some number. And then, okay, 209 minus 99, that's what? 110 drinks times $2 a piece is equal to some other number. Do those add up to $836.50? Right? Like once you figure out the process, even if your guess is wrong, you can just repeat that process with new numbers, and that makes guess and check efficient. So that is why you can't afford to get this wrong, is with the calculator, we really have no excuse. We can just, inch our way to the answer, and that is okay. Don't feel like that's giving up. That is solving the question. You're getting the points either way. So do it, earn them. Now, the reason that the equations for this kind of story are so important is it just kind of captures a situation that comes up a lot in algebra. It's basically that we have a total and each particular item has a value. So what I do, I call these quantity and value equations. And so we have two that we're going to create. One of them represents the total quantity of things that we have. So in this case, it represents the 209 salads and drinks. So the number of salads plus the number of drinks is 209. But also, each of those items has its own value. And so I create another equation that represents that. So in that case, it's the value of a salad is $6.50. So we multiply that by the S. And then the value of a drink is $2. So that's plus 2D. And that value, total amount of money is $836.50. And then with those two equations, I can solve for the variables using elimination, substitution, whatever, and get the answer. I'm not going to do that because I feel like I've already talked long enough, but you could, and that is just a basic point of intersection question at that point. And don't be surprised if on your SAT you see another story that sounds completely different, but ends up having equations that are very, very similar. In my study guides, I pull this type of model out. It's an important kind of story that we do see repeated, so I pull it out. It's its own unique lesson, but it's using skills from other places. It's using point of intersection skills. It's using algebra skills. And most of the time we can guess and check. A lot of the time you can. So you always have that in your back pocket just in case. And, you know, either way, you really want to lock in these points because the process is very predictable for this kind of question.